What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, episode 282. I am your host, Mistress Carrie, and welcome to the War Room, where we gather every Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern to talk about everything that's going on in the world, most importantly, to talk about music, and to be kind of an online support system for each other. First of all, I want to apologize that the Twitter live stream is not working. With all of the changes that are happening with Twitter and X and all of that, for some reason, the feed doesn't want to work tonight. So I don't know what Elon's doing tonight, but I will get that fixed and hopefully it'll be back up and working next Tuesday night. But welcome to the War Room to everyone else. Welcome to the OG War Room family, as they have dubbed themselves. And if this is your first time in the War Room, maybe you just discovered the Mistress Carrie podcast. Maybe you just got an alert on Instagram or on Facebook or my YouTube channel that told you that I was live and you're like, what the hell is going on? I'm just going to check it out. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. Let us know in the comments that this is your first time joining us in the War Room. So the OG family that's been here since March 14th of 2020 can welcome you properly. And also let us know where you're watching from as well, so that we can see how far and wide the War Room family has grown. What's up to Donnie, Donna, Eric, Betty, Byron is here, Kim, and Jonathan. Guitar Friend chiming in on Instagram saying Twitter is not the same. It's very weird. There's a lot of changes going on with Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And the technology is very, very strange right now. Mr. Cole is joining us. Brett Feldman joining us. Elsa and Travis checking in on YouTube. Jason, howdy Carrie, how's your mama? He wants to know. Mom is going for her follow-up with the orthopedic surgeon this week, so I'll have a better idea of what her recovery has been like, but so far so good. I appreciate you always asking about her, and thank you for all of the love and support that you guys send, and all of the similar stories of your family members that have battled dementia and Alzheimer's. It really does help to talk to people that have also gone through it. And so I really appreciate you guys always asking about her. Keith says, I am new here watching from Senegal. Keith, I appreciate you trying to get me that 150th country for the podcast, but I know that you are not new. Guitar Friend on Instagram says he's watching from Canada, which is fantastic. So welcome our neighbors to the north watching on Instagram. Everybody wants to know how my sister's trip to Italy was. She absolutely loved it. It was incredibly hot. So she talked a lot about just this is not the time of year to go wandering around Rome and Florence because of the extreme temperatures and humidity. Although I think everyone around the world is kind of dealing with elevated temperatures, humidity, crazy storms that are rolling across the East Coast right now. Hurricane Beryl that just went through. There's just a lot of craziness going on. So Lisa and Tracy are here. Let's see. What's up, Sean, on Instagram? Checking in. It's Carrie spelled with a K, by the way, Sean, just so you know. The first thing I want to do is I want to let you guys know that we're drinking something different here in the War Room tonight. So this is something that I had over the weekend, and I am now full-blown obsessed. So, oh, it's ice cold, and it's so good. So I wanted to thank everybody. Oh, wait, that's the wrong slide. I wanted to thank everybody that was so supportive of the second annual Scout Sniper Association skydiving boogie that happened on Saturday at Jumptown Skydiving in Orange. So many people were so wonderful, ordered t-shirts ahead of time, people that showed up at the drop zone that were buying t-shirts, the staff at Jumptown, all of the people that were at the Hogs Call after party at the Red Apple Farm. Everybody was so great. We raffled off a bunch of prizes. And we were in the cider house, and so the Red Apple Farm sent me home with a case of their delicious blueberry hard cider, which I had to drink here in the War Room because it's so freaking good. and spent a lot of time talking to the people at Red Apple Farm about the possibility of maybe taking the War Room on deployment there, and also coming up with some kind of maybe micro batch of Mistress Carrie cider or something. And we were talking about a lot of really cool stuff. So I want to thank everybody that made donations, everybody that bought t-shirts, everybody that showed up and bought raffle tickets, to everybody from the Scout Sniper Association to the staff at Jumptown. It was an amazing event. And I think next year, for the third annual, the event's going to get even bigger, and it's going to be open to so many more people in the veterans community, which is going to be great. So some of the pictures I just wanted to share with you guys. So this was the Scout Sniper Association presenting a flag to the staff at Red Apple Farm, which I thought was really cool. And this is me with all of the members of the Scout Sniper Association that were at the event. And then some of the jumpers that made their tandem skydives at Jumptown that day. We were expecting a lot of the event to get rained out, and we were pleasantly surprised that the sky actually was great for jumping. It was really hot, but it turned out to be a great day. So to everybody that was supportive of the event and came out and said hello, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody at Red Apple Farm for sending me home. Hey, that's not nice, Wednesday, for sending me home with a case of blueberry cider, because it's freaking delicious. Now, if you're new to the War Room and you're like, why is that dog scratching at you? Well, it's Wednesday, and she is my co-host. This is Wednesday. And, Wednesday. There we go. She's my co-host. That's where you can find her on Instagram at Wednesday the Goth Pug. And she knows that when we come in here on Tuesday nights and we sit on the green couch together, that she gets to go into the cookie pocket. And no, that's not code for something else. It's the pocket that has the cookies. Can you get down for me and behave, please? Stop scratching me so I spill blueberry cider all over the couch in the War Room. So Wednesday's been the co-host for 282 episodes with rare exceptions. And she only comes in here and does tricks. Can I have your paw? Thank you. Can I have the other paw? Can I have a high five? Down. When I bribe her with cookies. And then once the cookies are gone, unless you guys bribe her with stuff in the mail call, she abandons us. So there you go. But definitely follow Wednesday on Instagram at Wednesday the Goth Pug. And you can find me on Instagram, if you're not watching me there right now, at Mistress Carrie WAF. I never changed it. Bish wants to know, did I get an extra Scout Sniper Association flag for MCHQ? I did not, but next year I'm demanding one of my very own. Thank you very much. Let's see. Alexis saying hello to Wednesday. Jason wants to know how her night is going. Wednesday, how's your night going? Good? Yeah, so far so good? You're shedding. Wednesday is this heat and the humidity. She is shedding so bad. Thankfully, she's black, and all I do is wear black clothes, because when I had fawn pugs and they got to this time of year where they couldn't stop shedding, it was a disaster. And the lint brushes just couldn't hold up. Officially doing the no pants thing, says Tracy. Let's see. Beautiful night in Boston at the Leader Bank Pavilion. Mr. Cole is there watching Hailstorm and I Prevail right now. Huge tour, by the way. They were at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion last night, and I Prevail and Hailstorm writing that song together just for this tour so that they could perform it together. I don't know JMO K-Ski on Instagram. Just so you guys are aware, on Facebook, I see your names. On Instagram, I see your handle. But they say, I want some of that blueberry cider. You really do. The Red Apple Farm blueberry cider is delicious. And also, they told me to be careful with it, because if I am not mistaken, and I'm sure, it's 6% alcohol by volume. So you have to be careful, especially when you're drinking it in the heat, because it packs a wallop. So My brother had a pug, and yes, they shed. They are cute, though. Yes, they absolutely are. Alex Paul says, nice to hear your voice again. Last time I did, you worked for WAF. Alex, why have you not been in the war room with us for the past 4+ years? And why are you not hearing my voice every Wednesday when you listen to new episodes of the Mistress Carrie podcast? And why are you not listening to the multiple radio shows that I'm on every single day around the country? If you didn't know anything about any of those things, stay in the war room with me because I will tell you all about it. Sucks that Tenacious D put a pause on their tour. Hope everything works out in the end. Brendan McKenzie. So basically some political statements were made on stage in Australia, and Tenacious D has canceled all events, all recording, all everything, Jack Black announced today. That is going to be a very, very interesting situation. And hey, I think everybody just needs to ratchet things down a little bit. But the Tenacious D thing just got announced this afternoon. So Alex Paul says, been under a rock. Obviously you have, Alex. If you didn't know about the podcast and about all of the other stuff that's going on, first of all, we meet here every Tuesday night at 8:30. And now that you have entered the war room, you are always welcome. You are part of the war room family. And I will fill you in on everything else. Speaking of skydiving, I do want to let you guys know for the rest of this jumping season, there's a Mistress Carrie deal that you guys can take advantage of. You can get $40 off a tandem skydive at Jumptown in Orange, Massachusetts, which is the first commercial drop zone in the United States. It is the birthplace of recreational skydiving. And I got together with them. If you use the code Mistress Carrie, when you book your tandem at jumptown.com, you can get $40 off your tandem skydive. So if skydiving is something that you have always wanted to try, if it's something that somebody you love has always wanted to try, and you've got an anniversary, a graduation gift, a birthday, some reason to celebrate, this is a great gift. And you can use the tandem, wow, it's really pouring outside, at any point during the season. So you could save it and do foliage jumps in the fall when it's a little cooler, or you can book the tandem when it's convenient for you because Jumptown is open 7 days a week. So I'm always trying to get you guys deals on stuff. Take advantage of these deals when I get them for you. So go to jumptown.com. There's an FAQ section that will answer all of your questions about how old do you have to be, how tall can you be, how much can you weigh, what should I wear? All of that stuff can be answered online at jumptown.com in the FAQ section. So take advantage of that deal for sure. With this heat, ice cream. New Englanders eat more ice cream per capita than the rest of the United States combined. We like our ice cream a lot. And we are finalizing the launch date. Actually have a meeting there this week to make the final plan for the launch date of Mistress Carrie's Black and Blue boozy ice cream from the Ice Cream Alchemist that is going to benefit Project New Hope in Worcester. And so you can expect an announcement about this very, very soon on a confirmed date, when we're going to be down there hanging out, when we're going to launch the ice cream. And all of the profits are going to benefit Project New Hope, which does amazing work for our nation's veterans, younger veterans, older veterans, women veterans, homeless veterans, the children of veterans. They just do spectacular work across the entire veteran space. Everything from running a food pantry to book bags for kids, making sure that the children of our veterans have what they're hoping to get under the Christmas tree around the holidays. Project New Hope is it's an amazing organization run by volunteers, started by an Air Force veteran in Worcester. And so I could not be more proud that we are partnering with them and donating all of the profits of the ice cream. So really excited for you guys to try Mistress Carrie's Black and Blue ice cream. And as soon as we have a finalized date to do that, I will let you guys know. Want to remind you guys, next Saturday night, the 27th, in Manchester, New Hampshire, I am going to be at the Live Free or Die Tattoo Expo right in downtown Manchester. I am, there we go. I am hosting the pinup contest. There are going to be aerialists, tattoo competitions. You can win Slipknot tickets. All of the details are on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. But the expo runs all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I will be there Saturday night, 6 to 10. I'll have a table set up, so definitely come up. If you are a tattoo enthusiast, come and hang out at the expo. Come up to Manch Vegas, and definitely come and say hello. So that'll be 6 to 10 next Saturday, the 27th. This Saturday, we got something else going on that I'll tell you about in a minute. Now, to all of the people that are joining me here in the War Room that are like, it's nice to hear your voice, haven't heard you since you were on AAF, allow me to fill you in on all of the places you can find me, because it's a lot. You can hear me every midday from 10 to 3 in the afternoon on 98 Rock, Charleston's best rock in Charleston, South Carolina. You can listen online to my98rock.com, or you can go on the website and download the free 98 Rock app. Can you guys hear that thunder and lightning? It's freaking loud. So that's one place that you guys can find me. You guys can also hear me every weekday afternoon on 100 FM The Pike. You can go to pikefm.com, or you can listen on the free Pike app. And of course, the Pike is right in downtown Worcester. What's happening this Saturday? Well, it's the annual Pike Hair Fest at Indian Ranch. Music starts at noon. Gates open at 11 a.m. And this annual homage to all things hair metal is epic. Mullet wigs, jorts, spandex, classic t-shirts, a lot of fantastic music. It is a day drinking extravaganza hosted by Mike Shue, Chuck Perks, and I from the Pike air staff. And so we'll all be out there on Saturday. We return to Indian Ranch at the end of the summer on August 31st for the annual Rock Fest. Both of these shows, just go to mistresscarrie.com and go to the events calendar to get the link to get tickets and all of the other details. And the other place you can hear me every weekday is on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine. You can hear me every afternoon from 3 to 7. You can go to 1063thebone.com, download the free Bone app. You can listen anywhere. Yes, you can listen, I believe, in Canada, although sometimes those streaming things get a little weird because of the music licensing. So I know sometimes they put an embargo on the stream, and I don't know how to get around that. I guess with a VPN maybe. I don't know. But Jonathan says, yeah, the thunder here is bad too. Download the Bone, says Keith. Dina says, yeah, it's crazy here in New Hampshire. Up near T-shirt Brian's Business, who is up in Derry, New Hampshire. Good stuff for the ice cream, says Travis on YouTube. Brett says, what is the big announcement? I think it was about the ice cream. That was the announcement. I think I was hoping that I was going to have the final information about the launch of the ice cream, and I don't have it yet, but we're going to have that by the end of this week. So I think that may have been the big announcement that I was hinting about. Let's see. The Odyssey app does not work in Europe, says Brett. Yeah, it's got something to do with the music files and the music licensing and all of that stuff when it comes to streaming. And so you used to be able to listen everywhere. And then as streaming got better, as the music streaming services like Spotify and Pandora, Apple Music, all of that stuff, once they got the technology under them, they were able to kind of geo restrict where you can listen to certain streams and where you can't. So what's up, Trina? Sorry I'm late, she says. It's all good. You can be late. I'm fine with tardiness. Other people are not. And I bring it up because there's an audience here in the War Room right now because Mr. C is here. And so he is my audience of two between Wednesday and Mr. C. So he is not so welcoming when it comes to tardiness, but I'm okay with it. Christine says, Jelly Roll played a free show in Florida after a show got canceled. A lot is going on with Jelly Roll. He just got slimed. He's sampled in the new Eminem album that came out on Friday. And he also has the #1 rock song in the U.S. right now with Falling in Reverse, which is just unbelievable. Everybody in the War Room saying, hi, Mr. C, as he sips his ice cool beer after helping with the honeydew list around the house. So yeah. So these are just some of the places that you can hear me on the radio. There's a bunch more that are all part of the Westwood One Radio Network. Wednesday. She does not like. Did you guys hear that? Wednesday is not happy. That was loud. Stuck here watching the Eras Tour, says Eric. It's not bad. Taylor Swift is good, but this movie is almost 4 hours. Well, Eric, it's a concert movie. That's how long the concerts are. So a lot of people complain about how much the tickets are, but you can't say that she doesn't earn that money on that stage every night because the shows are unreal. Matter of fact, my guest this week on the podcast, who I'll tell you who it is in a minute, is a diehard Swiftie. And we actually spent a lot of time on this week's podcast talking about Taylor Swift. Last week's episode, I welcomed Blake and Joey from Devour the Day, who are also part of the lineup of Pop Evil. And so they joined me talking about how now they're an independent band, how they've navigated kind of the rat race of the music industry. And now they are operating as an independent artist in control of their own destiny, while also being two of the band members of Pop Evil with Lee Kakati as well. So a really interesting interview with artists that have seen all sides of the music industry. And I really do try in these interviews to pull the curtain back a little bit so that you guys understand how the industry works and how the flow of money works. So that when you're at a show and you're wondering why the tickets are so expensive, why the merch is so expensive, why the bands don't do those free radio shows like they used to, it's because everything in the music business, every money mechanism has changed. And that all changed because of the internet. It changed because of music piracy. It changed because of streams versus downloads, physical music sales slumping. Although it came out last week that physical music sales, so I'm talking CDs, cassettes, and vinyl, is up for the first time overall in 30 years, which is crazy. And one of the reasons is because of the vinyl sales because of Taylor Swift. So, yes, her shows are 4 hours long. Yes, if you're a dad, you're getting stuck taking your daughter to see the Eras Tour or watching the movies or listening to the songs in the car ad nauseum. But she really is legitimately affecting all aspects of the music industry, from music licensing and royalties to physical music sales to how artists are now treating even their crews, with how generous Taylor Swift has been bonusing the crew of the Eras Tour all the way to the truck drivers. And so she really is having a serious effect on the industry as a whole, which is pretty spectacular. So that was last week's episode to give you a better idea of what it's like now for independent artists to release new music, to be in control of their own musical destiny. Blake and Joey talked a lot about that sorry, I'm looking at Jason's really, really long comment. It just kind of showed up and took over the comment feed. So I was like, what is going on? But definitely check out episode 214. We talked about Pop Evil as well. So if you're a Pop Evil fan, you're not going to want to miss episode 214. All right, Wednesday. Can you back up? Yes. Daddy brought you more cookies because he spoils you more than I do. All right, this week on the podcast, a self-proclaimed Swiftie. Getting to know him was great. I'd never met him before. But Ben Wells from Blackstone Cherry, a band that I absolutely love, but have never met. I've seen them live before, and I've never met the guys in the band, but I got a chance to talk to Ben recently, And we talked a lot about music influence. We talked a lot about the music business. And he had all of these bracelets on so I could see him while we were talking. And I was like, with all of those bracelets you're wearing, are you a secret Swiftie? And he was like, I'm not a secret Swiftie. I am a Swiftie. And we had a significant conversation about songwriting and Taylor Swift's songwriting abilities and just how she's changed the industry in a lot of ways, especially re-recording her old songs and wielding the power of her own audience and really having that power from her audience because she treats her audience so well and she is so genuine with her audience, which a lot of other artists are looking at that going, how the hell does she pull that off? That's how. She does things like show up at their weddings when she gets invitations in the mail and doing listening parties at her home and inviting like diehard fans and then baking cookies for them when they're there and really go. I mean, she did the last tour she did or 2 tours ago, she did 13-hour meet and greets so that she could meet everyone in the stadium. 13 hours of hugs and smiles and autographs and oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. You don't think that would be hard, but trust me, on every tour stop she was doing them. And that's how you build a brand as an artist. And she has put the work in. So Ben Wells is a big fan. We also talked a lot about Lynyrd Skynyrd and we talked a lot about Elvis and the Beatles. We talked about touring and songwriting and so many other artists like ZZ Top. We talked about the moniker of Southern rock. These guys are a band that it's kind of hard to put a label on because they sound like classic rock, Southern rock sometimes. They sound like heavy metal other times. They're touring with everyone from Nonpoint to Clutch to Rival Sons to Aaron Jones to Skillet this year. So if you have not checked out Black Stone Cherry yet, this is a band you definitely want to check out. They've been a band since like 2001, and they're one of those bands that has really built up a cult following and tours a lot, but they have yet to hit like that next stratospheric kind of level of rock fame. And they're really great. So if you haven't checked them out yet, please do so. But Ben Wells from Black Stone Cherry is my guest on this week's episode. Episode 215 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live at midnight tonight. Wednesday, can I help you? Do you want me to put the pug cam back on? Is that what it is? Are you missing all the attention? Can you back up? I know you're scared because of the thunder and lightning. It's okay. Give me your paw. Can I have the other one? No, I want that one. Thank you. Down. Can you be good? Okay. That's all the cookies. That's it. There's no more. Okay? You have to just behave. Not because I'm bribing you to behave now. You just say hi to everybody in the camera up here. Say hi. Every time I think maybe it's my show, it's not. So episode 215 goes live at midnight tonight. If you are not subscribed to the Mistress Carrie podcast, then you're not getting the weekly episodes every Wednesday, and you're not getting the sit rep every Monday through Friday. You get rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates, all of that in about 5 minutes. And you can listen to the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. Like there's 50 plus podcast apps. You can listen on YouTube. You can listen on Apple, Google, Spotify, Odyssey, iHeart, Deezer. You can go to mistresscarrie.com and you can listen that way, or you can listen on YouTube. But anywhere basically that you get your podcasts, you can listen there. And yes, we are still holding strong at 149 countries. That is how many countries have listened to the Mistress Carrie podcast. I'm hoping to get to 150. I was hoping it was going to be this week, but alas, it is not. So if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. You share it with Stuart Copeland from The Police and Ed Kowalczyk from Live, who are celebrating the 30th anniversary of Throwing Copper on the Jubilee Tour with Stone Temple Pilots this year. Happy unbirthday, Keith. Happy birthday to everybody that's celebrating today. Louise says, we had insane lightning and torrential rain here in Western Mass. Trees down, flooding. Yeah, the storms are crazy and they are rolling through. When the bright red on the radar is not severe enough and it transitions to maroon and then dark maroon and then to black on the radar, no bueno. Christine says, you keep losing your connection. I wonder why that is. Hold on, let me see if I can figure out why that is happening. It's got to be the storms, guys, because everything's connected. Everything looks fine on my end. But every once in a while, I see that the screen freezes up for a second. So, yeah, something is definitely going on, and I don't know what it is. I'm not even on Wi-Fi. I'm on a hardwired connection right now. So, Jessica says 149 countries, and I was hoping it would be 150. So was I, but we're not there yet. No storms here, says Jason. Birthday is tomorrow, says Eric. I'll celebrate it with 2 aunts and David Hasselhoff. Well, happy early birthday to you, Eric. And we already said happy unbirthday to Keith as well. I hope he has pants on. It's very warm out. Okay. A bunch of tours got announced. There's a bunch of entertainment news to talk about. So first of all, this last week, they always say that Hollywood losses happen in threes, and these all happen within 24 hours of each other, which is crazy. Fitness guru and entertainer Richard Simmons passed away over the weekend. Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who allowed all of us to be able to say penis on the radio, basically, she passed away over the weekend. And Shannon Doherty, who was really made famous by Beverly Hills 90210 and Charmed. She passed away after a very heroic battle with brain cancer at the age of 53, I believe. There was one more loss this weekend that I wanted to talk about because it's something that I was really, really shocked by. So you may not know the name Evan Wright, but he was an author of several books, and he was also a magazine correspondent, and he was a war correspondent. And I know you know Evan Wright's work because he wrote the book that the docuseries or the series Generation Kill was based off of. He was, in fact, the Rolling Stone reporter that wrote about his time with the Marines and their initial push into Baghdad at the beginning of the Iraq War. And Generation Kill is a series on HBO that if you have not seen it, it's years old now, but there are so many parts of that. Even though I was overseas years later, even though I was embedded with the Army, not the Marine Corps, watching that series really was so representative in a lot of ways of my experience with my trips in Iraq and Afghanistan. My favorite parts of Generation Kill were the times that the guys were, either in their tents together or in their vehicles together on convoys, all of the ball busting and all of the little moments and the camaraderie amongst the fellow service members. And that really rang true for me in what I experienced watching the soldiers that I was embedded with. Watching Generation Kill was really a powerful experience for me because while it was not the exact same experience for me that Evan Wright had, there were so many similarities to that series. And Evan Wright died by suicide this weekend. And so when we're talking about mental health and we're talking about suicide prevention, when we have these conversations about the veterans community and our military community and just mental health awareness in general, here is someone that from the outside would look like they had it all, that had an amazing career, had really huge success in the entertainment business, but also was really well respected for his work. And when I saw that he had passed, I was really sad by that because he's done so much work with the military and the veterans community. And when you find out that someone passed by their own hand far too young, It's really, really sad. So if you have not seen Generation Kill yet, the series, it's on HBO. You can watch it on demand. It was highly critically acclaimed when it came out. And while obviously it was made for entertainment purposes, but it's based off of his actual experiences in Iraq with the Marines. And there are just so many moments in that series that are so powerful to me because I experienced something very similar. I just thought it was really, really sad that he passed away by suicide over the weekend. Bish says, as someone that attempted twice, we need more awareness on mental health. We absolutely do. And you guys hear me talk about it all the time on the podcast. There are so many artists that are talking about these things openly, that they are not being ambiguous about what those song lyrics mean. Matter of fact, there's a new documentary called Cover Your Ears that's streaming now. I believe it's streaming on Paramount Plus. And it's all about the big censorship pushes by the government on music, especially the PMRC back in the 80s. And some of the stories about that, trying to bring up the guys in Judas Priest on charges, going after Ozzy Osbourne for the song Suicide Solution, when it was a song, him being candid about his own alcoholism and addiction. And so artists used to write about that stuff, but they wouldn't really go in depth and talk about their own struggles as much as they do now. And more and more artists all the time are talking about their struggles and their own battles with depression, with anxiety, with suicide. And it's really, really powerful because if you can look at these people that you think they have everything and they're telling you that they can still suffer from depression and anxiety the way that you do, it connects everyone. So you're absolutely right that these are the things that need to be talked about. And I can tell you from a lot of family connection to this, you guys know that my cousin Michael has been missing for more than 20 years. I have a lot of family that work in mental health. It is a part of our medical system that is incredibly difficult to navigate. And so in this political climate, when we hear people talking about the healthcare system, mental health is part of that healthcare system. And so when you start hearing, it's hard enough for people to maintain a job while they're struggling with mental health or to be able to afford the treatments because it's not covered by insurance or they don't have insurance. And I think we can all agree that the more people that we can get mentally healthy in this country, the better the quality of life of everyone else in this country is going to be. And so I applaud anyone that struggles with mental health to talk openly about it, to share their stories, to reach out. You see it with people that struggle with addiction. When we had Slain on the show and he opened up a facility, when we talked to Head from Korn, who opened up a facility to be able to help other people. When you see people that are on the upswing of their battle with addiction, turning around and lending a hand to help those that are not as far along in their struggle and their survival from it, it's because they really understand what those people are going through and they can empathize with that. And the same thing happens with mental health. And there are so many artists that are talking about their experiences with it. So it's amazing for anybody that is brave enough to be able to talk so openly about their struggles. I think you should be really commended because it's really difficult. There was a time not so long ago that there would be a stigma attached to that. And sometimes that stigma still exists, but it's going away more and more every day because brave people are talking about surviving a suicide attempt or battling depression, and even just talking about what their depression and anxiety makes them feel like and what goes through their head, what they hear when someone else talks to them, how they feel, what it's like to not be able to get out of bed, or it's really powerful stuff. So, for so many people that are battling it and being quiet about it and struggling in silence, I just suggest that you find someone you trust, track down some resources that you have access to, and just be aware that there's a lot more people there that are loving you and supporting you than you might be aware of. And that's one of the things, if you're new to the War Room, that has made this community so special, is that we have always been here since day one to support each other through really hard times and to celebrate the victories too. When really good things are happening in all of our lives, we want to be able to go and celebrate those things with people that are really going to be able to appreciate that. And that's what you guys, have done. So, Alexis, everybody's sending you love, which I appreciate, as well. So, yeah, there are definitely a lot of artists that have been on the podcast that have talked about this very thing. Royal Lynn just talked about this and talked about mental health when it comes to first responders and the military community. There are a lot of artists that are really moving forward with this, especially the guys in like Papa Roach, who have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And the guys from Shinedown, A Symptom of Being Human, has done that very same thing. So just a lot of amazing people are doing a lot of work. All right, let's talk about some shows, because a ton of tours got announced just in the last couple of days. So shows at the TD Garden, there are a ton. The Black Crowes actually just announced a bunch of dates that are getting scheduled around the Aerosmith tour. And the last date of their tour so far is going to be at the end of February. The Black Crowes are going to finish their headlining tour at the Mohegan Sun Arena. That show just got announced today. I believe it goes on sale this Friday. But there are a ton of shows, a ton of artists have announced, not only plugged in tours, but there's an unplugged tour that got announced this week too. Silver Scream Con is coming to the DCU Center September 13th through the 15th. And Iron Maiden is going to be at the DCU Center on November 6th. Did you guys see that Bruce Dickinson and Paul Di'Anno finally got to meet? In their mid to late 60s, they finally sat down and they met in Croatia while both artists were there supporting their projects. Bruce Dickinson, the Mandrake Project, and Paul Di'Anno's new band, actually, that's getting ready to release their debut album. They happened to be in Croatia at the same time, so they sat down together, which is pretty cool. Big Night Live has got a bunch of shows. They're adding more and more rock shows all the time, and that includes Dirty Honey. They just announced the final leg of the Can't Find the Brakes tour, and look at the date of the Dirty Honey show. It goes on sale this Friday, but Dirty Honey is playing in Boston on October 1st. I wonder why that day is special. But The Warning, Cold Chamber, Asking Alexandria, Palais Royale, The Marvelous Three, and Lit, Dirty Honey. So many of these artists have been on the podcast, and they are all coming through Big Night Live, which is the club that is attached to the TD Garden right in downtown Boston. So many shows at the Xfinity Center, too many to name, but every show that we're talking about is up on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com right now. There are also a ton of shows all over New England. So the shows in Portland, the shows up in New Hampshire, the shows in Connecticut, those are all up on the events calendar as well. Duran Duran announced the shows around their Halloween tour, the Dance Macabre tour. They're going to be at the Mohegan Sun Arena October 25th and the SNHU Arena on November 2nd, but they're playing Madison Square Garden on Halloween night. Greta Van Fleet's going to be at Mohegan. Godsmack's got 3 shows in New England, none in Massachusetts, but they're going to be in Maine. They're going to be in New Hampshire, and they're also going to be at the Mohegan Sun Arena. Seven Dust at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom. The guys in Beat, which is Ballou, Vi, Levin, and Carey. Adrian Ballou, of course, Steve Vai, that's Danny Carey, playing the music of King Crimson. This tour just announced a bunch of other dates, the Lynn Auditorium, but they're going to be at the Schubert on October 11th. Accept is getting ready to celebrate their big 50th anniversary, and they've got a bunch of shows scheduled in New England around September. So just tons of shows, tons of tours. If you thought maybe this concert season was going to slow down at all, not a chance. This show is happening right now. I Prevail and Hailstorm at the Leader Bank Pavilion. Slash and the Serpents Tour is going to be at the Leader Bank Pavilion August 1st. 311's Unity Tour is going to be at Leader Bank on August 7th. The Bush Loaded Greatest Hits Tour with Jerry Cantrell. Waiting on that Cantrell announcement about a solo album, by the way. It's coming any day now. And Candlebox and Falling in Reverse. Congratulations to Ronnie Radke and Jelly Roll for the #1 song in the country right now. Dance Gavin Dance, Black Veil Brides, and Tech Nine. By the way, LeJean from Seven Dust is guesting on the new Tech Nine song. Which is pretty spectacular. And Jane's Addiction is going to be at Leader Bank on September 13th. But again, you can just check the concert listings at mistresscarrie.com for all of that. Metallica, expect a lot of announcements around the 2 Metallica shows at Gillette. They do these Metallica takeovers, and they schedule a bunch of events around the city where they're playing between the Friday and the Sunday show. So be on the lookout. I will run down all of these events as soon as they get them all confirmed. They usually announce them like a week before the show, so you can expect big announcements coming from Metallica soon. The Foo Fighters are going to be at Fenway soon. And if you are not able to get into Fenway, but you still want to be able to go and get your hands on some of the Fenway merch, the Foo Fighters, so many bands always make custom merchandise when they play at family-friendly Fenway. And the Foo Fighters have announced that all of their merch kiosks outside of Fenway open at noon the day of the show. So if you're going to be in Boston anyway, and you want to go and grab some Foo's merch before the show, whether you have tickets or not, you can go to the merch booths. They open at noon. Blink-182 will be at Fenway a couple days later. Def Leppard and Journey, by the way, it is not to be announced. The Steve Miller Band is opening up for Def Leppard and Journey on August 5th at Fenway. You can win tickets to Green Day, the Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas all this week on my show on the Pike. We're giving those tickets away as part of the Pike Concert Season Pass giveaways. And Pearl Jam, September 15th through the 17th. And all of those dates are up on the concert calendar. The Palladium in Worcester has got everybody from Flat Black to Set It Off, New Year's Day, From Ashes to New. That show is just before Halloween on October 27th. NoFX, the finale tour. That's 2 shows at Campanelli Stadium in Brockton. And the New England Metal and Hardcore Festival is going to be at the Palladium September 21st and September 22nd. Let's see. Jason says, bring the thunder. Bish says, hardwired, what Keith calls his privates. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Yes, we're all hoping Keith has pants on, but we also don't believe it. Michael Cole says, M72 cannot wait. Bish says Metallica doing a Cliff Burton August 2nd Somerville Theater. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on, which is going to be really, really cool. All right, Roadrunner in Brighton, Massachusetts on Guest Street, Newfound Glory, Kaleo, The Hives, Skillet, and Seether. That just went on sale this past Friday. Also, the Red Clay Strays, Dayseeker, and Rise Against. And hold on, there's some shows that got added to the House of Blues as well that I want to talk to you guys about. The MGM Music Hall has got everybody from the Pretenders and Cheap Trick to Taking Back Sunday, Widespread Panic, Kings of Leon, Sting, the Sisters of Mercy, Queens of the Stone Age. Now, this Queens of the Stone Age tour, which they are starting in Boston, they have not said whether or not it is still happening on time. Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age forced the cancellation of their European tour to return to the United States for emergency surgery. They did not say for what, and they did not say what the prognosis is or how much time he's going to need to recover. So as far as I know right now, the Queens of the Stone Age tour is definitely happening. And then Sting is going to be at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway as well. House of Blues in Boston. Couple of tours just got announced. Theory of a Dead Man announced an Unplugged tour. It goes on sale this Friday. Saint Asonia is going to be out with them. They're rotating openers depending on where they're going, but they just announced this tour. It goes on sale this Friday. And Steel Panther is also celebrating the 15th anniversary of their debut album. They are going to be at the House of Blues on November 23rd. Both of these shows go on sale on Friday, and they just got announced this week. So I told you that the fall concert season is getting insane. Keith Wallen from Breaking Benjamin on his Infinity Now tour at the Paradise Rock Club. Crown the Empire, the Lemonheads, 2 shows at the Paradise Rock Club. Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses taking advantage of Slash not only being out with his blues project, but then going into the studio with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators before Guns N' Roses dedicates 2025 to Guns N' Roses. So Duff is going to be at the Paradise Rock Club November 4th. And November 5th is going to be Guar at the Paradise. Hi, Wednesday. You're being much quieter now. Thank you. City Winery has got Robbie Krieger from The Doors, John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, John Five from Motley Crue doing 2 shows, an early and a late show on September 1st. And Richie Kotzen just announced a new album where he plays literally everything on the record. He is going to be at City Winery coming up on October 15th. Let's see. Music, new releases coming out this Friday. A Day to Remember releasing the 15th anniversary edition of Homesick. Deep Purple's new album Equals One comes out on Friday. Dio, the complete Donington collection comes out on Friday. Highly Suspect releasing As Above, So Below. And there are also a bunch of reissues coming from Duran Duran that are getting released this Friday as well. And another new release that just got announced today, Shinedown Second Hot Sauce. They released the Symptom Chipotle Garlic Sauce before Memorial Day weekend. They just announced the Pineapple Jerk. It's Devour Pineapple Jerk Sauce. And Barry Kirch announced it today. It is now available for order, and you can get it in the Shinedown merch shop. Mail call, nothing in the mail this week. Mr. C checked the mail today. Thank you very much. So if you need to send anything in mail call, I am expecting some packages from some artists that we've had on the podcast recently. I've been told to keep an eye on the mail, but it hasn't come yet. Yes. There's the mailing address if you need to send me anything. The online store at mistresscarrie.com. It's been too warm to wear t-shirts. Sun's out, guns out. The tank tops are on sale. There are some sizes that are out of stock right now because the tank tops are great at this time of year. Especially everybody said they wanted white ones because they didn't want to wear black in the summertime. So they come in black and white, the logo in the back, the devil horn logo in the front. They come in men's and women's sizes all the way up to 3X. And they're available right now at mistresscarrie.com. For the Backstage Pass holders, there is going to be a Backstage Pass live stream coming up. I don't know when it's going to be yet because I've been so busy on the weekends with the Hair Fest and the Tattoo Expo and everything going on. I haven't figured out when we're going to schedule it yet, but it is going to happen. But if you get a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you can submit podcast interview questions. You get travel blog updates, early access to event information, and exclusive concert ticket giveaways. So you had access to Hailstorm and I Prevail. You also still have access to Slipknot and also Cage the Elephant, both of those shows happening in August at the Xfinity Center. And you also get merch discount codes when we launch new merchandise as well. So if you don't have a Backstage Pass, go to patreon.com/Mistress Carrie or just click the Patreon logo at mistresscarrie.com. And a reminder about all of the places that you can find me online, all the social media handles, the podcast social media handles, and all of the radio station apps where you can listen to the different radio shows depending on what kind of music you want to listen to. If you want to listen to more classic rock, listen to the Pike. If you want to listen to more hard rock, listen to the Bone. If you want more of a combination of the two, listen to 98 Rock. You can get the links, everything you need to know at mistresscarrie.com. And one final plug for the Veterans Rock group that we put together on Facebook. You can join the Mistress Carrie Veterans Rock group. You do not have to be a veteran. The group is there for veterans to promote veteran-owned businesses, to be able to seek out programs, to get help navigating the bureaucracy that is trying to get benefits. It's also there for civilians to be able to find out about organizations and events that help veterans, to find out about struggles of veterans. And maybe you work in an industry that could help with that maybe you could donate to a fundraiser, or you might just have questions to help a veteran in your life, even if you're not a veteran yourself. So this is a place, it is not to talk about music. It is not to talk about anything else besides veteran-related organizations, businesses, events, all of that stuff. But it's growing all the time. So please, if you're a veteran, if you're a supporter of veterans, share this group on your personal pages so that people know that it's there, so that they have a place that they can go to ask questions and seek out resources, advice, and to network with their fellow veterans, and for all of us to be able to find out about veteran-owned businesses so that we can spend our money in places that we really want to make sure we're spending our money. So, let's see. Mr. C is like, what packages? I'm right here, says Bish. Backstage Pass live soon, Donna. It is going to happen. I'm just trying to figure out when we can do it because the weekends have been so crazy, especially everything that happened with my mom. Those few weeks, things were really, really hard. So I'm just now starting to get kind of caught up with everything. I'll feel a lot better after her follow-up appointments this week to really find out how she's doing and if she's on track for the recovery that they were predicting. So that's what's going on about the live stream. So I'll let you guys know as soon as we can. So that's it, guys. That is the show this week. Once again, I want to thank everybody at Red Apple Farm for the delicious blueberry cider. I was being responsible and being careful when I drove. And so they were like, we appreciate you being careful. I tasted it. It was delicious. And they were like, we're going to send you home with a bunch of it. And they did. So thank you. It's so good. It touches the lips. It's so good. Christine says 98% of my clothes are black. Yes, I know the screen keeps freezing. I don't know why it's doing it, but it's doing it, and I apologize. It's got to have something to do with the storm because I opted to put the hardwired internet connection in case we had any kind of hiccups with the Wi-Fi, and we're still having issues. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this week. Keep your head up. I know things are really, really hard right now. It's hard to stay positive when you put the news on, so do your best to just focus on what you can control and just try to do a little good in the world and try to be a positive force wherever you can. Right? Wednesday, do you want to say goodnight to everyone? Hold on. Do you want to say goodnight? I don't have any more cookies. But I appreciate you being here and sitting in the whole show. I don't appreciate all the barking, though. But you did a good job as my co-host tonight, right? You want to say thank you to everybody? Say goodnight? That's about all you're going to get out of her. All right, guys, I will see you guys next week. Don't forget episode 215 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. Ben Wells from Blackstone Cherry goes live at midnight tonight. See you guys later. Say goodnight, Wednesday.